to be demonetized immediately. But don't worry, we've made $0.
Your podcast is going to be what fucks you in the future.
I think with a couple hours of practice, that could be really strong. You know, like if you just do that for the rest of the night, you can be pretty good.
God damn. I'm just going to fucking periodically test it.
What store sold you a horn? Also?
Which one of these do I grab?
Whichever one. They're not fun.
I want the red one because I'm a blood.
Yeah.
I wanted the red
Justin's crip ass.
No, I wanted the red one because I'm a blood.
Nah, Justin's crip ass.
That's literally why I wanted the red one.
I wanted the black one because I'm blind.
There you go.
I kind of like holding the mic. That's kind of like a nice way to do it.
Oh, no, yeah, podcast.
I
Oh,
like
it's
it
kind
too.
of fun.
We have arms in the studio, but it gets annoying.
I think arms make people talk over each other.
Agree.
But like if we were sitting here, like if you're not talking, fucking top that bitch down.
Yeah.
And then you're bang.
Yeah. I've done a few though where my arm actually gets tired. I'm like, I'm out of shape. Just from taking this my fucking arm is already tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Mr. 5 o'clock over here.
Dude, it's been a hell of a day.
Cut my back day
Trap.
short as hell.
You're what?
My back day.
Good.
cut his back.
I'm trying to get everybody out of the gym. That's my goal.
If one day,
All my healthy friends, I'm going to turn them fat.
when it's my time to wait at the gates of the kingdom of heaven, and fucking St. Peter turns me around and is like, just not enough back definition. It's your fault.
What? I'm going to get in.
I don't think so.
You think that's what they're turning you away for? It's not. You're not a big back.
I
I
just-
just see you, bro.
I just want to cover everything.
Yeah,
I
That's
just
true.
want to cross my T's and dot my I's.
Better safe than sorry. It's true.
I don't think that Jesus wants me to be up there, sloppy. I don't think that.
That's true.
I don't think he has a problem with it. I think Jesus...
The Bible says he kind of does.
That's true. Yeah,
Just a little
He
bit.
is pretty specific on that. I think he does mention it.
Psalms 14, chapter 2. Don't be a fucking fat piece of shit.
Yeah,
Says treat your body like a temple. We didn't say it couldn't be a temple of ice cream.
that's true. A decrepit old temple.
Some
Like one of those
temples are pretty
Korean
big.
churches.
Some temples are big, okay?
Do you guys? This might just be small town shit, but do you guys have like old Korean churches that are abandoned, but they leave the van out there for a decade or so?
Not abandoned, very strong.
Dude, we got. I think we maybe.
Yeah, ours is... You guys ran yours.
We might have read our
Yeah.
Koreans out of town.
Like, oh, we got to get out of the mountains to Nashville.
Yeah, I told Kyler I'd edit this pod, so we'll just cut whatever. Like we'll just.
I didn't leave that in there. I think that's right.
Well, whatever you want.
Dude, the inside of this thing tastes like what I imagine...
A gas station horn.
No, it's not from a gas station.
I think it's a dog.
It's not from a gas station.
Dude, that's from Pets.
It smells like a dog.
Smells like cowhide.
It's funky on the inside.
No.
It's funky, man.
Oh, I hit it too hard, dude.
You smacked that horn too
I hit too much on the horn.
Oh,
bro.
dude, I'm ripping the horn.
Oh
Smell
my
that.
god, that smells like shit, dude. See, I thought that was exaggerated, dude.
It stinks, though, right?
Oh, it fucking stinks bad.
Yeah, I don't get it. Every time I put my mouth up
You've
to
been
it,
spitting in that thing
It's
for an
still
hour.
in my nose.
They convinced us to inhale it.
no, that smell ain't coming from me, brother. That's one of them. That's one of them old smells.
God.
That was disgusting. Don't fucking ever do that to me again, please.
Shit, I'm already out.
Shit.
Oh, that smells so fucking bad.
It's like it stayed in your nose too. Like I cut the sniff off, but it stayed in there because I didn't finish it.
That's what my dog's bones smell like. As they chew on it.
Exactly. That's what that is, dude.
100%.
That's a fucking
Oh
dog.
shit!
That smells so
They're
bad.
both cow horns.
Yeah. That explains it. For anybody just listening to the show, Kyler showed up with what can only be described as a dog toy, blowing in it, and I think one of the neighbors complimented it. Is that right? He was like,
Yeah, he was cool about it. I was up there
That's
trying
cool.
to make it. It's a horn. I was trying to make it sound cool,
yeah.
and the neighbor was like, was pretty much just telling me that like I gotta blow harder, and that he has one that he got from his grandfather.
Sure.
And then after he said blow harder, I did. It kind of got there. He goes, "That's it.
Yeah.
You're getting it."
Well, if that was, did you get his name?
No.
If that was Steve. He's the local neighborhood. That's all his advice ever is blow harder. I was changing my oil one time, and he came out. I was like, I can't get this bolt loose. He said, blow harder.
Steve.
Yeah, he's a creep.
Steve's
The guy's a creep.
he's just a neighborhood creep. Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is good advice.
He's not allowed to walk in the mornings because the kids are waiting on the bus.
Right.
He's not allowed to walk.
And he just walks by and goes, blow harder.
To be fair, in most areas of life, that will serve you well. That's actually good advice. I give
Just blow
Steve credit.
harder.
Yeah, blow harder is not bad advice. I give it to him. This is a cool. I've never seen somebody hold the mic this way. This is cool.
He's
Kind of
ready
a
to,
cool technique.
It is kind of.
It's like those guys in the rap
I'd say he's
videos.
ready to jump on the beat.
Yeah,
You know?
dude, absolutely.
Like they're about to do their rap. It's like this is how we should hang the mics.
Yeah,
I don't think it's great for the chord.
it's probably not.
Oh, it's right not.
Yeah.
So what do they do in the rap videos?
Why do they do what they do?
They can afford more chords, dude. They got the
yeah.
money. They just blow.
Rap
hard.
videos are the most fun things for no reason at all. You seen the Young Thug video where it's just everyone's got a huge head?
They are fun.
It's my favorite
It's a good one.
piece of.
They're
I would
always in
almost
the
call it
street for
cinema.
some reason too.
Pretty sure it's Hercules.
I do like when there's like 60 people out in the street just walking and singing along, and you're like, "This is the video." Huh?
It's so much fun.
Pretty cool. It is fun. I actually got invited to be in a music video yesterday, but I was down here. That reminded me.
For who?
I swear to God, this is real. The fat kid from the movie It. Do you remember the movie It? Okay, that kid is from my town, and his mom produces music now for some fucking reason. And I know somebody who knows her, and they were like, "Hey, they're doing a music video. Do you want to be in it?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And then I was like, "What time?" Like, I kind of thought about it for a second. It might actually be kind of sick.
We need a bunch of people that look like they're from here.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
Check the box.
So from the original one?
No. From the 17 one or something.
Oh, so he's just doing music like for fun?
I don't know if it's even him doing it or if his mom just was
What kind
like,
of
"Well, my
music?
kid's a star now, so I'm a producer." You know,
Oh,
I think she
okay.
just took it upon herself
I gotcha.
that she is now creative as well.
I
You know, it's like that's how it works. Do you
Gosh.
is having a kid blow your success in life away?
I don't have a kid.
But right. But in theory,
I'll never have one.
your kid achieves everything you always dreamed of. You kind of hate the kid a little bit, right?
I think that's the route my dad chose, I think.
That's weird though, man. That's so weird.
It's
It is
crazy.
weird.
It's
Like,
crazy.
you think Tiger Woods' dad is like that fucking asshole?
No.
You think he hates him, or he's in a man? He doesn't care.
It's gotta be. I would think
Push him
it's
towards
probably
all.
all different perspectives, but it's like if I invest a lot of time and money into something, and it starts to do what I want it to do, whether it be my child or a business, I'd be like, "Fuck yes, dude!"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's sick.
I would imagine that the level of pride, once your kid makes it
Sure.
to like, not just professional, we're talking Tiger the best.
The greatest of all
You know what I
time.
mean? Like Mike Trout's dad,
Yeah.
probably pretty pumped.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
But I
definitely
think it's
better.
the ones that don't. It's the ones that don't quite make it.
Exactly.
You went
what I'm-
D2,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe you even made it to farm league ball. Your dad hates
Yeah.
you for not making it.
You're in
For
the minors,
sure.
dude. You're in
Yeah.
the minors.
Yeah.
You retire after a long career in the minors.
Dude, I'd never be in the minors.
It's rough. No, that's not what I've heard. I do.
Hey, and you hadn't even been in town very long.
What the fuck?
Word travels fast. Word travels fast.
That's why you knew Steve, you piece of shit.
Just blow harder, dude. Just blow harder. God, I hope Steve somehow finds this podcast. That would be-
I hope that guy's name is actually Steve, so I can tell him all the slang he was doing. He
Yeah.
had defamation.
Let's go knock on doors and find him.
Well, I
After
didn't.
the show.
I don't think he can sue me because I haven't ruined any opportunities for him because birds of a feather, you and Steve.
That's true.
I saw a guy with a license plate today. And it said his license plate was FEDO. It was Fedo. And I thought, I could just draw a backward C right there and fuck his whole day up.
That's true.
God.
What is that? What could that be short for to make you go, I'm gonna get that?
It would probably be a while before he realized too. You know, like
Yeah, shit would just say pedo.
right, people would just be beeping and waving, and he's like, "Hi!" Like he doesn't know why they're doing it. Yeah,
It'd be a weird punishment. Like, listen, you're not going to jail, but you gotta have a license plate that says pedo.
I got behind a guy on the way here whose license plate said "2B" and then fair, FAIR, to be fair, and I thought
that's a letter Kenny. Shout out.
to be fair.
To be fair.
The fuck is letter?
It's a very good Canadian show. It's one of the funnier shows that came out of Canada.
Are you anti-Canadian? Is that what you're saying?
Anti that.
Are you taking it firm?
It's good.
I hear a lot of shit. I mean, I've never been to Canada. All I know is they've given us Drake, the Nelka Boys, and I don't eat pork. So it's like, who gives a fuck about Canada, man? You know?
I don't give a fuck about Canada, but I can respect a good show from Canada.
They did give us Jim Carrey, which I appreciate.
He's Canadian?
He's Canadian. Yeah.
I care about. Actually, I do. Also, I do care about Canada. I've met a lot of lovely people.
That's a strong stance.
Really, just a couple, but very lovely people.
Pro Canada. I think it's really just Trudeau that's fucking everything.
But every Canadian person that I meet, it's like, fuck that
Trudeau.
guy.
They hate him. That's true. To be fair.
To be fair.
That's Trudeau.
That is true. There used to be a Canadian show on Disney Channel called like My Life with Derek, and it was the stupidest fucking show. It'd come on and take up like an hour of time. I'd be like, man, I got a little bit of time before bed. You show me this bullshit.
What would you have rather been on?
Fucking Hannah Montana was a good one, I thought.
Hey.
You know, you can say what you want. People say it's girly. They had fucking her brother, Rico. They had the little kid at the stand.
They did. That wasn't her brother, but they did.
But they had those two guys, and then I think his name was Mitchell.
Dude, he ended up getting in just a lot of trouble. He ended up being an absolute fucking...
What, the little guy?
Don't they all, dude?
Mitchell Musso.
Did he really?
Yeah, he became a rapper, and then he got arrested a couple times.
Child stars.
Like the dude from It. That's his next in his art. He became an actor. Now he's a rapper, and then he's gonna go to jail and fucking Knoxville.
No way I'm getting in that music video after this. There's no way.
Then it was high school. It was like at the very end of my senior year, I was in one of Chris Jansen's music videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Right before he really blew up. Very fun, very cool.
Who's the dude? Is it Orlando Brown? Is that guy's name? Do you know what I'm talking about?
From That's So Raven?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that dude is
crazy.
out there. He might be the worst.
He was exposing Diddy a year ago.
For a long time.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there's a theory from the great Jaguar Wright. You guys know who she's?
I sure do. She's on one right now.
Yeah, she's been saying some shit.
Yeah.
So her theory is that, from what I gather, because there's kind of some loose ends you have to kind of just make up at certain points. She puts a lot.
Like all good truth.
She puts a lot of shit out there. But
she
she claimed that he acts that way so that Diddy and his affiliates think that he's crazy, so they don't kill him because the amount of dirt that he has on Diddy. So he can say these things, but because he's written off as crazy all the time, they're not really worried about
They almost like that.
Exactly. So but when Diddy gets locked up, he's gonna come out and be like, I'm fucking okay. And that's where I'm like, dude, no, probably not. He probably does a bunch of more shit.
I would probably prepare for some disappointment on that theory. I don't think he's coming out of it.
It'd be cool
as normal.
He just snaps out of it and he's Eddie again. You know what I mean?
He just has one of those Raven flashbacks.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, that'd be sick. He just comes back in a suede jumpsuit.
Or a bucket hat.
Yeah. Something cool, man. It's he's like a crackhead.
That's So Raven. Good show. But also, Raven was hot.
Sure.
Raven was just hot early, dude. She had her blamos were blamming early.
Yeah.
And I could say that because I was younger than her at the time.
Right.
Yeah, she had them woo-wops for sure.
She had them woo-wops for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're 14 and she's 16. Oh my God.
We're living.
Was she 16? Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. When did that show out? 2008, 2010?
I feel like you barely called that So Raven.
Well, so I remember watching it when I was a kid.
You had
7,
older
8,
sisters.
9, 10. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like it came out when I was 10.
What year were you 10?
Fucking
97?
2004. No, 2005.
No. Well, that means I was 5.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I also really liked Corey in the House. That was,
See, I
Sure.
didn't like it a ton, but I did watch it.
That might be the year I stopped consuming that kind of show.
I was more of a Chris Massey fan.
Sure.
Catch him over at PCA on Zoe 101.
Yeah, absolutely. Right around that time is when I was no longer on the Disney Channel, I think. You know?
Yeah.
That's where my breaking point was. And there's cartoons that people like remember fondly that I just don't remember. You know, like the cutoff.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite cartoon?
My favorite cartoon?
Rocket Power? Did you catch Rocket Power?
I remember Rocket Power,
Dopest
sure.
shit in the world.
Yeah. That's when there was like a skater and like a bicycle. Is
They
that
did
Surfers.
everything.
They're like
They
surfer
did everything. They were
skateboarders.
just extreme athletes, and they were
Right.
top tier.
They were blowing hard.
Auto Rocket?
They were blowing
dude?
harder.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, see, it's like I don't remember. I couldn't tell you any of the plot points of that show.
Not really.
I
just
very vaguely
kids.
remember like them surfing. That's all I remember.
That might
All
be the
time,
plot
though.
point.
That was. It was
That
just
might be
extreme
it.
sports was the plot.
Yeah.
And then they would defeat adversity sometime. They do the right thing sometime.
Defeat adversity through surfing is a pretty cool
Well,
message.
through all extreme sports.
Yeah.
You know, and friendship, of course.
Well, see, I was landlocked as a kid, so I thought, well, I'm never going to defeat adversity because I'm nowhere near the ocean. I can't even surf this shit out. You
That's
know?
true.
It's kind of, yeah.
You're
What
not
about
looking at water.
recess? Recess?
Great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that was a good one.
Sleep in, pretend to be sick, so your mom leaves you at home. Little
Dude.
recess in the
You guys ever
morning.
watched Kick Buttowski?
That's right. That's right in my lane. Sure.
Yeah,
I remember.
That
I remember Kids.
sounds.
It's not an old one. It's not an old one like Recess or fucking
sounds
Surf's Up,
like-
whatever you called it. But fucking,
Surf's Up's an animated fucking classic.
Surf's Up is a goddamn masterpiece.
It's probably one of the best.
Is what Surf's
Talking
Up
about
is.
adversity. Talking about triumphing over adversity.
Cody Maverick is a national treasure.
Shia LaBeouf as a
Dude.
fucking
Yep.
penguin.
One of the best soundtracks of any movie ever.
I don't wanna
Absolutely.
turn it. A lot of Jack Johnson.
A lot of Jack Johnson. There was some Incubus on
No,
that soundtrack.
no banana pancakes.
There was some. Yeah, this ain't no Curious George bullshit. This is a real movie for real adults.
For real.
Yeah. Surf's Up. I had some of the Surf's Up collector's toys from the Happy Meals also. I had
Of
a few
course.
of those bad boys. Chicken Joe.
He said, "Why can't I just be Cody?"
were
Dude?
they really
Yeah,
collectors?
Cody's me.
Yeah.
Just let me be
He
Cody.
said, "Always ask me what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Why can't I just be Cody?
How crazy would it be if I had that as a tattoo on my back?
Why can't I just be Cody?"
I'm like, dude, check out this penguin.
It's that and the Don King hedgehog.
Holy shit, dude, he was Don King.
Oh,
I never
100%.
realized.
Yeah, dude.
I think his name's Reggie in that movie.
Well-
Fuck yeah, dude. Surf's Up, man. That does not get the respect. Of all the ways I saw this pod going, this ain't it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think
I
we.
couldn't tell you what the fuck we've been talking about.
I'm very happy. I didn't.
I kind of blacked out after I did the Asian voice.
Yeah, that's fair. Surf's Up, I actually judge every podcast based on how quickly we get to the topic of Surf's Up.
Oh, we gotta be.
And
up
so
there.
this is good. This is going good. We're not even, we're 15 minutes and already there, dude.
That's a cool little piece of equipment, man.
We can-
Thanks, man. That's,
little vox pop, machine.
just a little thing, dude. That's, it's mobile. It's good stuff. Thank you guys for doing this, man. I appreciate you having me. We're in Justin's house, by the way, just for
Yeah, man.
the viewers who are like, this isn't the studio. You're right. It's much nicer.
Yeah, and if you're
Hey.
curious what Justin's house smells like, if you know what dried cum smells like, and the inside of a horn,
Yeah.
it's kind of the sniffs I'm getting.
You know, and that's what I was gonna say. You're talking 99% of the time, all the dried cum you would ever want to sniff. But today, nothing but horn.
It's
And
all
I'm real upset about
It
it.
is a horny living room today, dude. It is straight horny.
And you think usually it couldn't get hornier than smell of dry
Right.
cum.
Right. Dude, yeah.
But
That horn fucking reaks. I
So
think I'm a
bad.
little traumatized by it.
You'd
I'll be
be-
honest with you.
You'd be appalled if you know what I paid for.
Jesus Christ. You wanna hear a fun story about Kyler?
I'd love to.
One time he called me. And of course, you can fucking cut it if you don't want us to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it. Very fun story about
No,
Kyler.
please.
One day he called me and he was like, "Man, I'm about to get all these sick animal shirts. It's about to be so. There's a new drop. I'm about to get them." And I was like, "That's cool, man. Which one did you get?" He starts naming. He doesn't tell me a number. He just starts naming the animals. And it's like 14, 15 shirts. He said, "Yeah, dude, I'm about to spend $500 on an animal shirt."
Jesus.
And I was like, "Yeah, but maybe don't do that." This is right before he was trying to. He's like, "He just bought a house. Congratulations." Fucking Kyler. Dude just bought a house and he's spending $500 on animal shirts and he's just like, man, I hope this house deal goes through.
It's priorities, man.
And I was like, yeah, dude, maybe don't do that. He was like, you know what, dude, you're right. I do need to chill out. You're 100% right. We have a whole conversation. At the end of the conversation, he says, I'm only spending $295 and hangs up. He still spent $300 on animal shirts.
You did save him $200.
Yeah, and I needed him to do that, really.
That's what are friends for, dude. That's what it is.
It is funny to think at that time, I was so stressed out about whether or not the house deal was going to go through. And I'm like, man, I really, it's like, I need to relieve this stress somehow. I got to buy a bunch of fucking dog shirts.
He said this new bird drop, though. Because I think it was the bird drop.
The bird drop? They got waterfowl on this one, dude. They're fucking expanding the range. Yeah, so for just a little, like, behind the curtain. So, last night, we all did a open mic at Zadie's.
Shout out. Shout out Zany's best club in the world.
Shout out Zadie's. Absolutely.
Shout out to Lab at Zany's.
Yeah.
New room at the Zany's.
Oh my God. Awesome. It was so much fun. So awesome. And Kyler hosted between every comedian. Like you quit hosting also, which we'll talk about in a second. At some point you switched off of hosting duty. But you hosted maybe 20 different comics and had a different animal shirt on every time you brought somebody up.
Yeah, man.
What was it? Because Justin, you were in the grade room, so behind the curtain, is he just back there panicking, sorting through animal shirts? Did he have them laid out? What's going on?
So he thought about it. It was a team effort at some times, but
Sure.
this guy can pop in and out of a shirt quicker than you think. I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
There were times where we would get deep in conversation, and then it would get a little hectic. He was like, "Oh no, I got to put a new shirt on."
Sure.
Yeah, but other than that, man, it was
That's
a
true.
shame.
There was one where you came out a little abrupt, like you were still struggling to get the shirt down to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And I think you just left. I'll be honest. I think you just left it up, and you just
struggling to get the shirt down.
He's talking about the crop top.
Oh yeah,
it was up.
He was talking about the
That was
crop
meant
top.
to be.
It was definitely up.
Yeah. That
So,
was a crop top.
when I brought
Unicorn
up
crop.
Layla Ingalls,
Yes.
she was that Kill Tony chick.
Yeah.
So when I brought her up, I thought it'd be funny to have I have a purple. I accidentally bought it. It's a purple unicorn shirt.
Wait, did you say you accidentally bought?
Yeah, it was
purple unicorn.
No, I wanted the purple
Yeah,
unicorn.
he bought the wrong size.
I wanted the purple unicorn.
Okay.
And it was the right size, but when it came, I put it on and it was fucking cropped. And then I went and looked back in the description and it said crop shirt. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So I had to buy another purple unicorn.
Right.
So now every once in a while when I go to grab it, I'll mix it up.
Sure.
And I accidentally grab the wrong one because I don't throw shit away.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, every once in a while it's nice to throw on a little crop unicorn shirt.
So yeah, I can only.
But yeah, that's why my tummy was out. But that bit was funny, man. There was two guys in the front that they picked up on it quick. Like 3 in. And then as I started to come out, it was like a game for them. And that was.
At one point when they came out, I heard one of them whisper to the other one, "The shirt," and I heard you yell, "Shut up!" And then you just kept hosting. You told these two to stop recognizing your bit for a second.
Yeah, well, so
they were spoiling
the science behind that, because there is a science.
Sure.
I thought it'd be funny. It makes it funnier if you're like, fucking, you can't laugh at this.
Right.
And now it's like, they want to laugh at it even harder. And I think doing that got some other people on board. And it got to a point where, like, at the peak of it, when I'd come out, they would be like, ah! Like for the different shirt, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I did tag out of hosting, but it wasn't.
You did.
It was because it's usually a 2-host mic.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah, it's a 2-host mic, and I was supposed to do the whole thing. I fucking brought 35 shirts. Okay, I brought a lot of shirts, and they're all 4Xs. So do the math. That took 1 million pounds.
I was about to say, very heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy.
That's quick, man.
Multiple people brought them out.
It was like 3 comforters.
Yeah. Did you have like a dolly that you were using to wheel them in there? Or
We just muscled them up.
Just muscle. You just, man. Yeah.
Crop top is nice sometimes. I went to a festival this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I wore a crop top.
You went crop.
Jesus Christ, I wish you didn't tell me that.
You went.
I'm just saying. I'm saying it.
I just lost fucking.
Listen.
You just went down like 4 notches on
it wasn't a normal one. It was a denim shirt with fish on it, a button up. It was dope as shit. It was fucking
Let me
amazing.
hear that description again because I'm having a hard time picturing this.
Yeah,
Denim shirt,
Denim shirt.
fish on it. Fish all over it like they're swimming. There's some seaweed.
Multiple fish. So
It's
the
a
plural of fish.
Fish on it.
Multiple
Yeah,
fish.
yeah. There's habitat. There's a little habitat in there.
Sure. Seaweed, you said.
Right.
Okay.
And
is it like embroidered? Is it stitched in fish?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So it's not sequined on there.
We're talking possibly the classiest shirt that
Right.
you can even envision.
Was it above belly button or below belly button?
It was below.
Oh, it was. Okay.
It was
okay.
below.
All right. That's interesting because I was picturing something pretty different. I'll be honest with you. I was picturing something a little different.
No, I did not look like Doug from 51st Dates. I wasn't doing that.
That would be a cool move.
This was the coolest shirt I've ever seen. It was the best shirt maybe I've ever put on.
Right.
So the fact that you would even shame me like that makes me feel pretty bad.
It is interesting that you talked about coming out to a crowd of
In a unicorn crop top. If anyone I thought I could say in front of this guy.
Right.
I love this guy.
Only to and I believe you said the sentence, it's nice to go crop sometimes.
As a bit.
What a piece of
He
shit.
didn't do it as a bit.
No, what a
He did it as a
shit.
fashion statement.
It wasn't a fashion
I did
statement.
it as a joke at a comedy club.
It wasn't
as
a fashion
joke.
statement.
This guy's walking around a million people that he's not trying to make laugh.
It wasn't
Like,
a fashion statement.
Look at this. This is my belly button.
It wasn't a fashion statement, number one. I had a painted on handlebar mustache on my face.
Now that's a fashion statement.
It wasn't a fashion statement.
That's just class is all that is.
So fuck off, number one. It's wonderful.
A painted on mustache.
What music festival?
It was the EDM
requires
show, so
such
you
a-
can imagine
Oh,
it was in my
okay.
system.
You
So once
should've-
again, get off my dick about it.
I just think you walk around.
Maybe you should have led with that.
What
you
an
have-
asshole.
Did you have any sort of hat on? Do you have pictures of this outfit?
Yeah.
I would like.
I'm never going to show you.
We're gonna put it in the video. It's gonna be
I
linked in the YouTube.
was about to send you a slideshow set to a very cool song about it.
about the outfit.
No, about the festival. I had such a great time, and I was like, man, Kyler really loves
It's
it.
just Justin fucking.
Kyler loves it when I have a good time.
Up in a crop top.
And now I'm never going to send it to you, and all that art was.
He's got
it's
clay
good.
stick bracelets on and barrettes in his hair.
That's not true.
That is a bit much.
Now you're painting a picture. That's just not true.
That's why I'm envisioning.
What are you, the liberal media?
I'm also, for some reason, I'm envisioning this denim shirt as like a denim tube top with one
No.
big fish, and it's just Justin there standing in a fucking tube top.
I'm picturing the Jesus fish icon also, not like a real
No,
fish.
it's a real fish.
Just the line art of the Jesus fish is what I'm
Real
seeing.
fish, very.
What the fuck is that even about?
That's true. Why is there?
He multiplied fish to feed people.
Man, that don't make no sense.
That,
People making that connection, that don't make
Okay, never mind. It's above the belly button.
we're gonna link it.
Oh shit, it is technically considered a tube top.
Yeah.
Not considered tube top, and I will still stand by it. I look like a football player in the '80s. I look cool as shit.
I want
Dude, if
to see
nothing
the
else,
shirt.
I'm never going to show you.
What's your shirt?
You can barely see the shirt in the picture, and I'm not going to show you.
Where did you get the shirt? Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh,
you
let's hold hands.
Okay, deal. Let's do it. If all right, I didn't know there was gonna be a thumb rub. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, man, if I'm holding your hand, I'm doing what
The hand-
So why are we talking shit about crop tops? You're thumb rubbing Nathaniel.
He is thumb rubbing me.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Which
mean,
isn't what it sounds like. I want to point that out. My clit is safe and sound.
it's not.
It's not that at all.
Dumb rub. I'm just fucking flicking his little bean.
Let me ask you two. How long have each of you been doing comedy? I'm curious.
Like right,
The same
I
time?
think right around the same time.
Yeah, but like I've been doing it since last February, really.
Okay.
I looked at a joke book. I wrote my first joke in it, and it was dated September 22nd, 2022. So
Okay.
2 years September.
Right. Coming up on 2 or like 18 or I guess 20 months right there.
I'm
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are right there. Is that for the Nashville scene? Are you still considered like the new guys on the block? I was around both of you last night, and the impression that I got is that you are not the new guys on the block. But you may still feel that way, you know, since you're still kind of new. Like in our scene, the club has only existed for 3 years. So if you're 3 years in, you're like an elder of our scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like in a bigger city, there's 15-year comics floating around.
I don't know, man. I just appreciate what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work really hard, and I feel like I get some cool opportunities. And there's a lot of really cool guys in Nashville.
There are.
It's weird sometimes because Nashville only has one hub. It has the best club in America, in my opinion. I love Zany's, and that's the place to go. There's so many other really cool outlets in Nashville for comedy.
Yeah.
That are like just so fun to be at, so much fun. But in like the scene, it feels like being able to do Zany's is like the thing,
right?
You know, which is like I think anytime I get to touch a microphone in front of whoever's there, I think that is like an amazing experience.
Yeah. That's a great way to feel too, because I think so many people, especially when you first start out, that like golden cow you're talking about of Zany's feels so unachievable that some of them turn bitter and they're like, I'm not doing shit until I get on there. You know, like they'll just wait for it to fall in their lap.
Yeah,
we see that a lot.
Definitely, we're lucky here, man. We got like a nice little scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not too big, and I feel like the people in the scene really do a great job in making that new kid in town feeling go away pretty fast.
Yeah, agreed.
So
I mean, I was
here
there last night for the first time, really, like as far as doing shows for the first time, and I felt like everybody I interacted with was super fucking nice and welcoming,
for the most,
which is not always the case in every city,
right?
You know, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Maybe I think that's kind of starting to go away with comedy too. That's more of like an 80s comedy thing.
Well, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, we're all out here literally trying to make people laugh. You're going to be a dickhead?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a bad time.
It's that famine mentality thing too. Like, there's not enough for everybody, but clearly there is.
Always.
You know? How many fucking people were there at that mic last night that signed up?
I think they get like around 80 people signing up every week. People drive from Kentucky, from Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, I did about 5 hours just for it, you know? Like, and there was, I'd say at least 80 people there, because I got there early, and there was already 4 or 5 lingering around.
Yeah, shout out Fallon.
Absolutely.
She kind of brainchilded that and gets a crowd in there damn near every week. They usually trickle in from the late Wednesday show, and I'm telling you, having a Wednesday night where you can go in and more than likely do 4 minutes in front of at least 30 people.
Yeah.
And sometimes, dude, it was packed out last week.
Yeah.
Completely packed out.
Like 100.
I mean, probably every bit of 70.
That's for an open mic, 70.
It's insane, but that's what Zany's does.
Right.
And because it's at that place, it doesn't have the same open mic feel of like a bunch of comics murmuring somewhere off in the distance, and people there that aren't really knowing what the fuck's going on, but they're there and they don't really want to laugh because they don't know what's going on. Like, all that's eliminated. People are like, oh, I'm at a comedy club. This is an open mic. Let's hear the jokes.
Right.
And that gives you. It's almost like more beneficial as like working on a joke, because you work on a joke at a bar open mic fucking 30 times, and then you take it to a show. You're essentially, skipping a couple steps and getting some really good feedback from the crowd, which is pretty cool.
Well, they're there for the jokes.
Yeah.
Whereas, in a bar, they're just drinking for 2 hours, and then somebody taps a mic and goes, "We're about to get started." And half the time they're like, "God damn it!" They don't want to be there
every time.
Yeah, they don't want to be there. Sometimes they
love
leave.
doing like a brewery show, and it's just like, hey, I know none of you wanted this, but I hope you like it.
That leads me. So my co-host Michael is not here with us, and I do want to say special shout out to Michael.
Rest in peace, Michael.
I really hope that the recovery is going well, and I hope you get your daughter back. That's what I hope. It's I just do it every episode. He's not here. He's fine, but he's not, and I hope it goes well. Because he's gonna edit this and he's gonna kick my ass. Anyways, I hope it's going well.
I hope you don't get her back.
Well, heroin is tough, and sometimes choices are hard in life. And anyways. His favorite question.
I'm picking H over a kid all day. What the fuck?
His favorite question to our show is like, what's the craziest stand-up story or the worst? It could be, a lot of people just say the worst bomb, but what's like we had a fight break out of the show of ours one time, and we talk about that all the time. I want to, whatever this is the story I want right here. Whatever you guys are laughing about, what the fuck happened?
So, I mean,
You can leave out any like damning names or evidence. Like, just give me the gist.
Okay. So there's
The only reason it's because I think it's both of our craziest thing that's ever happened.
Okay,
That's the only reason.
Good.
There's an open mic, and it just got started. Like, there was 2 comics up, and there was this guy just so drunk, being so rude to everyone, just screaming, and I wasn't in the best mood, and I was like, "Hey man, shut up!" And this is after a bunch of people had tried to get the guy to shut up, and he's just like being a dick.
We get 3 comics in before this happens, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Like,
it's just rolling.
Yeah.
Right off the rip.
Right.
It's
5 minutes in, like 15 minutes
4.
in.
Yeah.
12 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, host went up, second comic, on to the third guy. Like, it's early.
Okay, all right.
And this guy's just drunk asshole. And everybody's trying to get him to shut up. People are like, hey, hush. Hey, be quiet. And then finally, I'm like, hey, man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And you're on stage when you said
No.
that? No. Okay.
No, I'm at the bar.
Okay.
Because you started getting into it with the guy on stage and just, like, calling him bad words.
Sure.
Just being not a nice guy.
Being
And I told him to shut the hell up. I said, shut the fuck up. And he kind of looked at me and said, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'll beat the shit out of you. Like,
As you should.
stay over there. And he did. He fucking said, after that, he didn't say a word.
Yeah.
And then some other guy.
I wouldn't have. If you said that to me, I would have said, I'm sorry, I'll be quiet from here on out. I don't think I would have made another peep, dude.
I'd have said,
I would have.
Yeah, I would have been like, fucking shut me up, buddy.
Jazz push.
But he did get quiet. And then some other guy stepped up and was like, you shut up or I'll call the police. I was like, what the fuck? Were you not here fucking 10 seconds ago? This guy was being an asshole.
Right.
He stepped up to me and I was like, hey man, like, you're an old man. Like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
And when I did that, the guy I originally talked to, he comes running and he's like hyped himself up at this point.
Right. He had to take a second.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
you ready, motherfucker? You ready, motherfucker? And he comes and swings and I just fucking slip it and punch him straight in his face.
Oh shit.
But I had Crocs on. I punched him in his face a couple times. I had Crocs on, and as soon as we started fighting, the bartender starts spraying me with water from the gun for whatever reason.
Right.
And I slip, and Justin comes up behind me and like stabilizes me and then punches the guy on the other side of the face.
Good man.
And then we just get a couple more licks in, and then that's it.
Good man.
It was fun, though. Turns out that guy worked at that place.
He was a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get in trouble. And then after, I was like, hey, what the hell were you spraying me for? She's like, I thought you were the aggressor.
He said he was the biggest one.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was the biggest one.
Even with the ML Rose and ate a bunch of apps.
Yeah, shout him over those.
That'll work up an appetite.
My shirt was all torn. I'm just fucking eating fucking buffalo fries. I'm soaking wet. And my shirt's ripped, and we're just there just laughing about beating some guy's ass.
Crushing apps in a ripped, I'm assuming, wildlife t-shirt.
No, and I'll tell you what.
Very cool shirt, though.
It wasn't an animal shirt. It was one of the only times.
This was I think this might have just been pre you just hitting animal shirts all the time.
No. This was still animal shirts all the time. I just remember going, because I don't really want to go to that mic all the time. I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, I'll just put a shirt on. I'm going to work on these jokes. That's why I had Crocs on. I never do a fucking open mic at Crocs. But I had Crocs on, just a regular t-shirt. And I'm telling you, if that guy would have ripped an animal shirt, oh, man, I'd have fucking ripped his head off.
That'd be game over. Would you do an open mic in a denim button-down crop top with a fish embroidered on it? Does that feel like open mic attire to you? Would you ever, or is that more of a music festival?
Man, I think that's something you wear when you go to like a pride festival or something.
Right.
But I don't think it matters what you walk to an open mic. Justin, what was your perspective on that?
I would love to know, yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, that fight.
I knew it was going to happen at a certain point.
Right.
So I remember sitting there. So I was sitting behind him, and they start talking shit, and it gets to the point where that guy like stands up. So I was like, well, fuck it. And I gave all the shit in my pocket to the host, to Grayson Murray.
Oh, cool.
I was like, take this shit. And I have long hair, so I had to tie it back. That's kind of gay. I get that.
That's the equivalent of like taking your earrings out.
It's not.
If you're a black woman and you're like, hold these.
Well, yeah.
The pocket thing is like, that's.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I was like,
no, not the hair.
So I just knew it was going to happen. And everything he said happened. and then the guy just starts because he's got to cross the whole bar to get to him.
Right.
And I'm literally there because the guy was over there with friends. That's how big of a piece of shit this guy was. None of his friends came with him.
Wow.
At all. Because that's the only reason.
And he had some help.
Yeah.
That one guy that was with him was a big.
There were some motherfuckers over there, and that's why I was like, okay. Push comes to shove, I at least got to be ready. Kyler's my guy.
Right.
And and no one came with him, so I just happened to be there, and then he slipped, so I kind of like lifted him up and just put my shoulder in his back so he could lean against my back and just throw heavies, dude.
Yeah.
He was up against a wall. He could just fucking throw at it.
Pretty good.
And he rocked this dude. The dude didn't fall, which was crazy.
Yeah, he was eating them, dude. I mean, yeah, good on that guy. His mouth, he started bleeding.
Yeah.
He was eating the bitches, dude.
He does. He gets hit once, and he does like lean towards the bar, and he grabs Kyler's shirt, and that's what makes Kyler like start to slip a little more.
Right.
So that's so fucking pulling him down.
Yeah.
And then that guy got up, but Kyler was still slipping. So I was like, I'm gonna roll around, and I just dotted him in the eye. And then by the time I did that, Kyler had got back up. So I like pop around his right side, hit him in the eye. And that guy goes towards the bar. Kyler gets up. I think gives him one more, and then it was over.
I want you to know, normally when we ask that question, it's like one time I had kind of a bad set.
I think after that night, it was official tag team champions of the world.
That's pretty sick, dude. You guys need belts. That's
Work
the next time
on that.
the next time I see you, I'm gonna have 2 leather belts made up. Tag team champion of the world.
No, and I'll be honest too, like, you know, on some like vulnerability shit. That was the first time I got in a fight in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't like to be violent.
Right.
I wasn't having a good day. That guy probably wasn't having a good day either. It didn't have to get to that point, but it did. But he ate some heavy ones.
Sure.
But it isn't something like, you know, I was immediately overcome with embarrassment.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? It was like, what am I doing?
And especially if you're kind of new in the scene at that time. And then that kind of brands you out. Imagine for a while, people are like, he's kind of a loose cannon, which is so not fair.
And that was my concern. And luckily, I didn't face that. But that was a big concern.
Right.
I said, now it's, this big guy's aggressive. Right. Because I'm actually not. It's just that time was a bad time.
Yeah. All these other comics, like, saw it. So, like, they knew.
So
like, it was literally just Kyler standing up for the mic as a whole, and that guy couldn't fucking handle it. Yeah. So that happens. But it's never fun to fight somebody. That's the worst shit in the world.
Yeah. And it does happen. I guess where comedy is so, like, intermixed with alcohol, it does happen more often than people would think.
I mean, with that, before I even did my first open mic, I was just at the East Room, actually. And I broke up a fight between 2 comics. I had not even been on stage one time.
Pretty cool.
Broke the fight up.
Pretty cool. You're like, I could get into this shit.
I actually underhooked the... I'm not going to say it. I'm fucking let it ride.
It was close.
I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to say it.
But you broke it up, and that's what matters. That's important. Yeah. We had... So, our fight was different because it was... The dude was mad at the guy on stage, this crowd member. And he was just drunk, and he was... tiny dude, like, 5'2" or something, little dude with a scraggly beard. And he was mad at the guy on the show, the host actually. It had just started, and the host was making some joke about cancer or whatever, as
you do.
Yeah, as you do. And I guess maybe this guy had a particular experience with cancer. Who knows? Maybe his grandpa. Who knows?
I got a couple of those landmines in my set.
It was a real landmine. And I will say, the comic delivering the material wasn't doing it in a very good way. It was an open mic. It wasn't a polished joke. It was a little more offensive than it was funny, maybe. Some would say.
You're such a sweetheart for saying it that way.
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, fuck, dude. Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Anyway, the comic was being kind of, just not... Thanks, man. Was being not super professional, kind of like unplugging your own mic. And he was going on about cancer. This dude starts yelling from the back at the bar, and he's yelling, "This is fucking tasteless." That's what he kept saying, the mad guy. And I'm so fucking stupid. I thought he was mad about his drink. I thought he was like, "This tastes like nothing," you know? And he's yelling, "This is fucking tasteless." So I turned around and I was like, "Hey, can you like be quiet or whatever?" And he was like, "No, fuck you. And fuck all this. This is all tasteless." And then he tries to rush the stage.
Damn.
And the other host at the time, my buddy Joey, shout out to Joey Gray, went over and like basically got in a shoving match with this little dude. And at one point, his girlfriend tried to come in.
Oh, that's great.
The drunk guy's girlfriend.
That's great for him. Dude.
And then, so my buddy Joey's wife was pregnant at the time, like 8 months ready.
She jumped in?
Dude, she jumped in.
So we had a 3-on-2 situation?
Like, get her out of here, dude. Break this up. And yeah, I don't even know. I know, like, at one point, all I remember is there was like 4 big comics, including myself, like standing out front guarding the door so these people would just leave. Because we were like, just go, you know, like we don't have to fight or call the cops. Just literally leave. And then at one point we called the cops and she yelled, "Babe, we have to go. I can't go to jail again."
Good on her.
I laughed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I start laughing. She sees me laughing and like leaps at me, like comes flying at me. And he like grabs her by the waist and is holding her back. And she's like, "What's so funny?" And I get weirdly calm. I guess just trauma. But like during fights, I'm cool, you know? So I was like, "What you just said, it's very funny. What you just said is funny." And that dude, she was pissed because I was dead serious. I was like, "You, ma'am, so you just said I can't go to jail." You're fucking crazy.
I'm just imagining you, that guy rushes the stage, and you're like, "Dude, this guy's really passionate about Shirley Temple. Get some grenadine in this fucking thing for him. Jesus Christ."
Yeah, that must have been a terrible hit on that Guinness, dude. He's pissed. He just kept saying, "This is tasteless." Anyways,
He had COVID.
yeah. Yeah, dude. The pregnant girlfriend at the time of my buddy Joey, she followed the girl. She found the girl on Facebook, messaged her employer an email with the story, and was like, "Here's the type of employee that you have." And this girl like worked in a hospital, so she probably lost her job.
Do you still know this woman that sent the email?
Yeah,
You're friends with her?
She's my friend's wife. Yeah.
So you're not friends with her?
She's my friend's wife. Yeah.
Sounds kind of cunty to me.
No. She's great. She's actually really, really great.
Let it die. It's open mic.
She's pregnant.
They have a
You
kid.
get this poor bitch with a record, clearly, get her fired from her hospital job. That's crazy.
She went after her. Yeah, she did some. That feels like some woman shit. I'll say it publicly.
Yeah, she got a real short bob.
She.
Yeah, bitch, dude.
Take a road for the underdog.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good story.
It is funny to think that guy was at divorce. Like, he just discovered he can't taste anything anymore. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's got like 5 different drinks. Like, everything is tasteless.
He's sniffing the horn. He's like, "I can't even smell it."
He just got drunk real fast. Just
I
shots.
guarantee
I can't
you,
taste any of it.
if I had COVID right now, I'd smell that horn. I guarantee you.
He'd probably heal it. Blow into it. Smell it.
Yeah.
It would probably. I want to know the bit. I really want to know the bit that guy was running.
I don't remember it, to be honest. It was just I just remember him using the word cancer a couple times, and that seemed to really get him.
But
He's probably like St. Jude.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It clearly wasn't a thought.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell that joke in Memphis, dude. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep that in the more southeast.
My favorite part of our fight is that since we've been doing this show, this is episode 62, I think, 63.
Oh.
Since we've been doing this show, like most episodes are with a friend of ours who's probably there. So we have like 30 different perspectives of it, and everybody's is different, dude. Everybody tells the story a little bit different.
Is that comic still the guy that was doing the bit? Is he still around?
Yeah, he still runs that same mic, actually.
Oh, no
He
shit.
was hosting it, doing
He was
that
hosting
bit?
it.
He was up top. He started that.
We'll talk after. I've got some more to add, but we'll talk after. Yeah. So my favorite question that we do sometimes ask on this show is, what are some of y'all's biggest influences, like way before you actually start doing comedy? Like for me, when I'm a kid and I'm hanging out with my dad or my grandpa, they expose me to comedy. But we get like that dude Joey Gray, my friend, said Three Stooges. You know, we've got all kinds of answers. Like, what are some of y'all's biggest comedy influences?
Dude, I was lucky enough to have him in house. Not in my house per se,
Sure,
but my uncle and my papa, funniest people I've ever met in my life. Right. My mom also so funny. She got like class clown in high school, her senior year, like type stuff.
So just your family just ripping all.
So yeah, as far as like as early as I can remember, my uncle Gary is the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
and my papa was up there.
Right.
And then, you know, also my brother's a comic. You know, he's been doing it for fucking 12 years.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolute dog. Orange Juice on Apple Music, Spotify, everything. It's his hour. He's my brother, but I will say, like, it's in my top 5 hours. And it's It's not because
I did not fucking know that. That's amazing, dude. Yeah.
He's the man.
That's awesome. Where is he at right now? Like, where's
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, and he'll say the same thing. He'll say Uncle Gary as well. And then it turned into my brother. Like, I started kind of getting the funny thing at school at a real young age because my brother was 3 years older than me. Right. And I would just, the way he would make fun of me at home, I would go make fun of people at school. Right. I'd say verbatim, like what he said, and was like, "You're so funny." So that's what kind of started even for me.
School's a big common answer we get a lot too. Like the one that we get the most, I think, and it's so fucking true for me too, is like the lunch table with the boys, you know? At lunch, you got like 20 minutes and you're just cooking. For 20 minutes, you're just putting each other, just dying, laughing. And then chasing that, honestly, leads a lot to comedy, I think.
For sure.
A lot of people are like, because especially the hang, I mean, like after the show last night, we're in a tight circle with a couple people, and it's that same energy of like everybody's getting shots at, everybody's having fun. I love that shit.
Chasing the lunch table while simultaneously running away from responsibility. Yeah, that's what I do.
Absolutely. That's stand-up comedy. That's literally,
That's deep.
Yeah, trying to be 14 again is awesome.
and have everyone be okay with it.
Right.
Like, if I can make money at this, everyone has to be okay with me fucking being 16.
If you're just really good at being immature, you could get famous. Yeah, that's that's crazy. But it's no wonder.
Yeah, they rocked. But as far as like comics, I don't know. Dan Soder's like my number one.
Oh, he's so funny, dude. Soder has a bit that I've never seen the real bit. I've just seen the clip of him talking about it with Stavros, but about how there was some overlap between when he stopped playing with wrestling figurines and started smoking sick. Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah,
that's one of the funniest
outside. Like, the belt's in contention, smoking a cig.
He's like, I'm thinking maybe Tatanka for a world championship. Yeah. Dude, that premise is so funny. He's great. He's another answer we get a lot.
Do you remember Roy D. Mercer?
Oh, absolutely.
That was one of the big ones for me. So that's what, like, it was just prank phone calls. So I come down there, how big a boy are you?
Yeah.
Hell, I'll come down there and whoop your ass. Yeah. The funniest shit in the world. So, like, that's all me and my brother did. Like, it was always just funny.
Right.
My whole life.
They sold those, for anybody listening who doesn't know, that was a very fucking popular
I was 3 years old.
Dude who would record, and to be fair, I don't know if it was legit. It may have been canned, the whole thing. I would like to believe
he was calling people. Yeah.
I think so too. But they sold mostly like in like truck stops is where they sell these CDs of just him calling and fucking with people. And it was huge. It was huge.
Clean comedy. Ray Stevens. Like musical comedy. I remember Ray Stevens, very young, like at my aunt's house watching a videotape of his music videos.
Roy Mercer's also, I would imagine, is probably more of a Southern thing too. You know, just because the appeal, like he's very Southern. The whole thing is he's a Southern dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of Northern comics have no fucking clue who he is, but. Right. I could see, and also,
it's like I think it was on a radio station. I don't even. I think he was like a shock. Like he was the guy doing like a segment,
right?
Pretty much. Like he was a DJ or something. But.
My favorite part about this show too, like when we asked the inspiration thing, is sometimes I can see that in the comic, and I do feel like I can actually see that in you.
That's funny.
Now that I know that, like I understand how that has made its way into your act. No,
that's fucking awesome. That's very fun to hear. Yeah, and I like honestly, I could go on with. Just comic inspiration. Like I said, just always fucking Dane Cook when I was in 6th grade and shit like that. But I'll leave it at this because this was like the most influential, I think, at the like as like a stand-up, like he's a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
There's Ron White in the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Jesus, dude.
Like that was a thing that all of us could watch. And I remember watching that with my mom and dad, my brother, watching all of them just in the living room. And Ron White, from an early age, I was like, this dude's the man. And still to this day, I'll listen to his old albums.
He's the man.
I've watched his one Netflix special on there 15 million times. It just, people don't do it like him. He gets everything you can out of a joke.
Absolutely.
He tells you the joke, it's hilarious, and then he acts it out for you, and it's even funnier. And so I'll leave it there.
He might be the quintessential Southern comedian too.
I love it.
Obviously, all those guys, but like, and forgive me for anybody who listens to this show every week, which is just two of our friends. But they, I say this all the time. When I was a kid, we would watch Blue Collar also, but my family's super conservative, super clean, and sheltered me a lot. So when Ron would come on at the end, they would turn the TV off. Yeah. And in my brain as a kid, I was like, I want to know what he's saying. You know. So then, as soon as I'm old enough, I seek him out, and obviously he's the number one of all of them.
Dude, I feel you so much on that.
Yeah. So Blue Collar was big for you too?
Yeah, I love Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy, Billy Bull, like all that shit was like. So my Mimi is very similar, very clean. And when Ron White would come on, she would just turn back on like Food Network. She would go, I don't like. She thought Larry the Cable Guy was disgusting.
Really?
But she still would let me watch him. And every time he'd come on, she would just sit in the back and she'd go, I do not like him.
She thought Get Her Done was a racial slur.
I do.
That's probably.
She's like, he is so foul. I do not like him. That's what she'd say. And she did the same thing when Ron White would come on.
I bet she hates the movie Cars then. She's like, something about that made her there.
So that was the thing. She loves Owen Wilson. She was perplexed when that came out.
Yeah, she's torn. Yeah, that's so funny, man. Yeah, Blue Collar is definitely like a common answer for us. And then the real crazy ones that I love on the show is like my buddy Joey said Three Stooges. We get a lot of SNL too. Were you guys?
SNL very early. I did. Dude. Like that's what all those was. But by the time I was like 10, you know, it's like not even, I wasn't really getting into what I would love as comedy yet.
Right.
But I was still just like, this shit fucking rocks.
Yeah. And also when you're young, you just kind of base it off whoever's around you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I remember my dad was, he was in and out when I was a kid, but like the time I would spend with him, we would bond over either comedy or music. And so he, like, very distinctly, I remember him being like, this is NWA. Don't fucking tell your mom, you know? But he's like, when I was a kid, I bought an NWA album and my mom smashed it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play it for you now so you can hear it. And I'd be like, well, I'm 5. So, like, I don't know. Like, this is a lot.
Say, wow, they really do have attitude.
They came with it for sure, dude. They came with it.
My parents were CD smashers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, we're very Christian, very conservative household.
Mine too. And comedy was the same for him too, you know, where he'd be like, this is Dice. Like, I had all the Dice lullabies memorized by like 7.
Yeah.
And I'd go home and get in trouble because mom's like, what do you want for dinner? And I'd be like, what's in the bowl, bitch? You know, it's just getting in trouble all the time for saying shit. But I think that obviously that's why we do it now, you know. But are there any current influences? Like, and that could be famous or maybe even just in Nashville is a better question. Who are some of the Nashville guys that y'all look to right now?
If I'm influenced by anyone now, it's like from work ethic standpoint. I feel like at this point, you can't really be influenced by anyone's comedy.
Of course. Yeah.
Because you've got your own voice going.
Right.
But work ethic wise, there's a few guys that I definitely would look up to.
There's a few in Nashville that even I recognize being 5 hours away, you know, just really mostly from social media.
Yeah.
I see it and I see it paying off for them and stuff. And I just got to talk with a bunch of them last night, but I got to see Zach Townsend and I love that dude. Yeah. And when he was leaving, I was like, dude, congrats on everything, man. It's so cool to watch somebody you know and have done shows with to be doing fucking opening theaters for Santino, you know, on the golf course with half the team 49ers, like just fucking out there doing it, really doing it.
A couple 100,000 on Instagram, paid vacation comedy.
Absolutely.
Great.
Sketches.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit before we got started. You guys have got to be featured on a lot of the local sketches and stuff too with him and Connor. I think that is so cool that y'all have that going down here.
Yeah, like you talk about like, you know, Nashville. When you say influences, you know, like he was saying, it's more of like a fucking getting at it, you know, because it's just a grind.
Yeah.
And you see people like Zach Townsend, Connor Larson, Aaron Webb. Connor Larson rules. He does great against like the work ethic of these guys: Zach, Connor, Aaron Weber, Lee Kimbrell, who just came to Nashville from Cincy. Lee fucking rules.
He's such a sweet.
But like those are like the guys. It's like when I first started, I would see these guys and be like, "Oh, I'm trying to do that. Let's see what they're doing."
Right.
It's like they're at it every fucking night, and if they're not at the open mic, then you know they're at the fucking club. And it's like, oh, okay, like that's what you see, and like that is influential.
Yeah.
And just like the work ethic side of things.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Coincidentally, it's the people that are doing shit.
I know.
It's people that are getting all this stuff. So it's good to see. Like, if you, because those guys have been doing it for 10, 8, 9, like a long time.
Right.
And it's cool to see if you plug away. Like, it'll happen.
Yeah, and even last night we were talking with Lee Kimbrell a little bit, and he was saying that he was like, "Isn't it funny how the dudes who work hard and are nice to people have success?" That's so. Who would have thought that that's how it works? Like it's pretty black and white, really.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes for me, especially, it gets to be honestly a little bit heartbreaking of an art form, just because it feels so like when I do. We had Zach Townsend come headline my show for Don't Tell, and I got
great show.
I got the
Don't
host.
Tell Tri-Cities, great show.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you guys run the fuck out of those shows.
Yeah, Knoxville and us are just carbon copy. Like we're just doing our boy Justin Mays' style, and it's working. I mean, we put on good shows, but like to be on with Townsend, and I got to host 2 shows for him, and then simultaneously see him opening theaters for Santino. It's like it feels so graspable sometimes, but it's so far away. Like it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes too. I think some especially young comics, get that in their head, and that's hard to wrestle with.
That's why you gotta surround yourself with fucking awesome people, man. Yeah. It's hard to be heartbroken when you're doing jokes with your best friends.
Yeah.
Going to Shulman's afterwards, getting fucked up with your best friends. Like,
yeah.
It's all about the ride, dude. And you're gonna be on this ride for a long time if you want to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I did. I'm super thankful for this cat right here. I don't think anyone really pushes me as much as he does, as much as we'll call each other at random times of the day, like, hey, I got this, I'm going to run this.
Yeah.
Go back and forth as much as we can. So it's
like, valuable.
And keep it honest, too, man. Yeah. It's like real, like I love you, but listen to the truth.
Right.
Yeah, one time he was like, I feel like you just ain't been feeling my shit lately.
Yeah.
Like, it was a real conversation. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm just telling you how I feel about it. And
of course.
That's just the...
And it helps. But it's not because you got like, and that's the kind of shit where it's like, you see people, they get off stage, like they go up stage and they do a joke, and you're like, oh, I mean, there's a couple things maybe you didn't notice. I'm not telling you how to do your joke. Right. If I ever come to someone and say, hey, I think about this, I'm like, hey, do you care if I tell you something I thought about? But so many people are like anti that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
It's like telling someone their kid's ugly. No one wants to hear it.
Right.
You're like, hey, man, like that joke was good, but it could be way better. Like,
sometimes the kid's ugly.
Yeah, sometimes the kid's real ugly. Sometimes you need to get rid of that kid.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, put a fucking button up on that thing or something.
Yeah, just have another. Just do it. Try it again.
Yeah.
But being open to that is like,
like.
Well,
you mentioned too, one thing that I think is so important there is like you filter jokes through the Kyler mindset, like through your filter, or like if we wrote out a joke on paper, all 3 of us would deliver it different if we didn't hear the other one. Yeah. So sometimes, like my buddy Pruitt is a great example. If he's on stage and he comes off, I can tell him the joke he just told me from my perspective, and he'll catch tags that he didn't say. That just my brain like auto create, we'll write that way together and stuff. Yeah. Having that collaboration is honestly, and this is not gonna probably go well when other locals listen to this, it's something I miss in my scene because our scene doesn't really have that right now. Yeah. And we have a very small scene anyways, but like, and it could just be me like isolating myself. That's a huge part of it too. But I think that collaboration and that camaraderie you're talking about is why we started this shit in the first place. It's a huge part of it. Yeah. But clearly it makes all the difference too.
It shit rocks, man. It's easy to get too many chefs in the kitchen though too. So I think you find a couple people that you trust, a couple people of shit you really like, and those are the people.
Tight circle.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Like he's mentioned all those guys before. It's like having friends like that now, because like 2 years, that's new. It's relative. That's fucking new to stand-up comedy.
Yeah, very.
But like I'm getting advice from these people who've been doing it and are doing it at a high level now. So that is really just like You can't put a price on it.
Of course. And it
That's-
shows too, like I know you guys both do shows in other cities, and I'm sure you've had that thing where like you meet a comic you've never met, maybe they saw your set and they'll ask you how long you've been doing it. You tell them too, and they're like, oh shit, really? Like that's it? That's a nice feeling. Like when comics are able to give you your flowers like that a little bit. Because I've had because we're in a small scene and we had one club for a long time and nothing else really. I was just around. Like after college when I first started, I had nothing to do. I was in the club every night, and Sean Carter would just give me a crazy amount of opportunities. So, like I was hosting for Blake Wexler, Michael Palisak, or like people who've been on Conan 3 months into comedy or whatever, you know. And I remember some of them at that time being like, "You're only 3 months in." Like that is so encouraging
For sure.
when that happens to you.
For sure.
Yeah, I've had some cool opportunities at the club to like host for some really cool guys. You know, like Joe Gatto.
Did you really?
Man.
Oh, that's fucking sick, dude.
The Impractical Joker.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling
The
you,
one and only.
the nicest guy, so funny. You know,
Yeah.
just the way that like me and Justin or me and you were fucking with each other. You know, he'll
Yeah.
fuck with you, and you see him fucking with his boy. Like it's still fun, and then he's just he'll come up to you and he'll go, hey, listen, like I had a really good time during those shows. And at the end of the weekend, he was like, hey, man, like, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but just hanging out with you this week. Like, he said some really cool things.
Wow.
Genuine guy, dude.
Yeah, cool as fuck.
That's amazing. Because that doesn't always happen. Also.
Yeah, no.
No,
Yeah.
he could have been a
Other
dickhead.
extreme,
He could
too.
have, by all intents and purposes, been an absolute.
Or at the least just been hands off. Like, that's most headliners. They're somewhere else tomorrow. Like, they don't want to get to know you on a human level. They're just, you're the fifth feature they've had this week or what. They don't give a shit.
I think
That's awesome.
I think because I've heard a lot of great stories about a lot of great comics. Like Connor had the opportunity to open up for Soder. Said one of the best dudes.
So
and obviously Santino and Zach. Santino's one of the best dudes.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
And I think maybe Zanies might sway that a little bit because like
Right.
Zanies in Nashville, people like they're pumped to be there. You know what I mean? Like people,
It's so respected.
highly revered club.
Yeah.
So I think that might sway it a bit because it's a lot easier to be pissed off in fucking Tulsa, you know?
Right.
But other than I haven't heard any of like comics that I already respected being dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good point too. That Zanies may have some influence because I know like we've had a couple headliners over the years who maybe they came from New York and obviously they're used to a certain level of either whether as simple as a green room or a staging area. And then at our club for a long time, our green room was just the supply room. It's like you'd be sitting next to bags of popcorn seed, and some headliners made a problem out of that because they're used to more. And part of me understands that. Part of me gets why they would have a problem with it. Part of me goes, "You're being a dick." It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't care. I'd say this now, and no one ever knows what happened. You never say never, but I would like to think that in the future, if I am doing things like that or having those kind of opportunities, it's like, dude, I've told jokes to one person at a bar at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I can sit next to a bag of fucking popcorn
Agreed.
to tell some jokes in front of just 2 more people.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
None of that fucking matters.
Right.
The money doesn't matter. You getting to go out there and make people laugh is the most important part of all of it.
Yeah.
And being able to go, I worked on this. Here it is, and they're
Right.
like, I love it.
Right.
It's like that. Most important. Fuck everything else. Sit next to a bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
People who can't think that way, or people who, yeah, I mean, people do it for a long time and they make a lot of money and they get like egos and stuff. It's like, dude, you could be in one state and they love you, and you go to, you go 8 hours another direction, and they could give a fuck less about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're there for free. They got free tickets.
Yeah.
Just fucking tell your jokes.
Right.
That's
Just do what you're there to do.
Yeah. So it's like people who do shit like that, man. It's so annoying. I have met some assholes too.
I agree. Well, this particular headliner too, I think came to stand up a little after some success in just like the social media world. He had like a theater background. Like he's a little new to the stand up world, and so I think he had maybe an expectation of what stand up was, and our area just couldn't live up to that for him. Yeah. Which I totally understand, but also you booked the goddamn club. Like you're there for the weekend. Like you don't have to be here, obviously.
It's also crazy to think
that too. It's a little bit of that.
It's crazy to think that sitting next to popcorn, like that is like the dream though. Like, cause you're a full-time comic if you're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like those are rooms you're gonna have to do. But
one of the particular things that his problem is that there wasn't fresh fruit in our green room, and Sean was like, we don't even have a green room, dog. You're sitting on a stool next to the wine and the popcorn. Like, you're going to be real disappointed.
Okay, at that point, get the guy a bowl of fucking fruit.
I think
Go to Publix, get a goddamn.
I think somebody did run out to like our local grocery store.
That
That's
is
pretty
funny.
much. But yeah, it's just
The guy's like, hey, listen, I don't really care to even sit next to a bag of popcorn, but there's no fruit. He's like, listen, I told jokes in front of one person at the bar. He's got like...
Yeah, the smell of pine sol I can get over, but there's no goddamn cantaloupe in here. And
I do
I'm
not do a
putting up with
set
that.
unless there is a watermelon within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First club I ever got to do didn't have a green room. We were just in
Yep.
the back of the club.
Yep. Sometimes those are the most fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes it's the most fun. Even like at the cave show, there was plenty of space in that cave for all
that
of us
shit
to
was
scatter around.
sick.
But we all
Yeah,
just
that
stood
looked
right
bad.
there.
How the fuck did you pull that off?
That was sick as
That
fuck.
looked badass.
That was a long story. This is what I was telling Justin right before we clicked record. I grew up taking field trips to that cave. Like my school would go, and it's fucking. I don't know exactly how many, not a mile of trip, but there's a lot underground. It goes on forever. There's an underground lake that like he got to go and see and shit. It's massive. And so I've always thought that would be cool. And then when I started talking to Don't Tell, part of the reason they even gave me a city for Don't Tell is because I was like, have you guys ever had that in a cavern? And they were like, what the fuck is a cavern? You know, like the guy I was talking to was in LA. He has no idea. And so I was like, I think I can do that. I can make that happen. And then they wound up giving me Don't Tell, kind of on the premise that I would pull that off, you know? So it's been like 10 months now of fucking building up. And then the week that it was supposed to happen, a fucking hurricane hits the southeast and floods everywhere. Dude, I had to cancel one of my shows. I was like, I think that my family settled on an Indian burial ground a couple decades ago or something. Like, we're just fucking cursed, dude. The worst. It
ended up working out, dude. This guy gets fucking, 60 people?
60, yeah.
To come down 150 foot underground.
What did it sound like?
It's
pretty
just
good.
cool. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Like, it didn't reverb nearly
We
as
were
bad
worried
as
about it. But so there's different rooms as you go along. There's bigger air. Like, as you come in, it's massive. Where we're at, there's a very narrow, it's kind of a kill box, honestly. It's shaped like a comedy club room. So we picked that corner of the cave for that reason.
God, that's so
the
sick.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a video from it.
It's cool. Hopefully, I mean,
those clips. You got
sick.
Yeah.
It went well, and the owner, they all had a good time and shit. So, like, more than likely, we will do it again. It's just now we're kind of getting to the cold months. So in the spring, we'll do it again. And I mean,
it's just fun to goof.
Before we do go, I'll go ahead and wrap up. But before we do, please plug anything you guys want to plug, anything at all for our listeners.
Yeah.
We can plug stuff in the description too, so it'll be out there.
Yeah, just follow me at Kyler Finney Comedy, and then follow. I have a sketch page with my buddy Mike Postalakis and Colton Hoffs. It's called Flop Sweat Comedy, so it's like, that's a really cool page. Flop Sweat Comedy, Kyler Finney Comedy. That'd be great.
For sure.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. At Justin Wagner Comedy. And go ahead and follow, you probably already do if you're a comic or a comedy fan, but follow Fiona Colley. I'm getting the opportunity to feature for her on the road. That's going to be the dopest shit ever.
She's
so
amazing.
If you're anywhere, she's got all her tour dates up. Go check her out. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious.
And Connor Larson also, you featured for Connor a lot. So
Yeah.
I've probably fucking talked every episode about Connor and Fiona too, because I've worked with her too.
She's faking it.
She's amazing. If you don't understand what that's funny, follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, dude. If you didn't get that joke, come to a show.
And you'll get it. Yeah. All right. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Inboard Comedy, as always. And Don't Tell Tri-Cities on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. We
Appreciate you, brother.
Bye.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah.